Hey everybody, Max Brallier here. I'm the author of the Last Kids on Earth series, and I'm going to read today, tonight. Can you tell that it's nighttime? I got all the lights on, trying to really blast the light here, because it is 1:24 a.m., and I'm working on the next book in the series, but I'm going to take a little break, do a little reading. I'm going to read a little bit from the next Last Kids on Earth book, like a little sneak peek from the Last Kids on Earth in the Doomsday Race. I don't have a final copy yet, but I have a printout from the copy editor. You can see it's like kind of grayscale, and I've got some notes and stuff, but it looks really good. Looks like great. I'm very excited. So I'm read a little bit from it. So this is book 7, right? Yes, book 7 in the main series, because the last one was The Last Kids on Earth in the Skeleton Road, which is book 6, according to that number, which is correct. And then between that, we did The Last Kids on Earth, Thrilling Tales from the Treehouse. But this is the next main book in the series, The Last Kids on Earth and the Doomsday Race. So I'm going to read a little bit from that, like the first chapter, maybe a little bit of the second. So this one picks up, Doomsday Race picks up, like, right after this one ends, like the exact same moment, or, yeah, like seconds after, or more than seconds, less than, like a minute and a half. It picks up like a minute and a half after. So the Skeleton Road ended with the kids have just like achieved a sort of like a big cool victory at this place called Aqua City. They now have this little cute little dude with them named Drooler, this little monster. But there is a giant monster barreling down on them called the Mollusk. If you can see it there, y'all see me. Hi. And the mollusk, it's spelled Mallusk because it's a giant mollusk creature, but also has a mall on top of it, the Millennium Super Mall, which is like in Last Kids on Earth world, the biggest shopping mall in the country. So ends with that, and then I can never do this when I'm doing it reverse. That look cool? That looks cool. And so it picks up right there, and so I'm gonna start reading like what happens exactly next. Okay, chapter 1. Right into the action. Exactly a minute and a half after the previous book ended. June is shouting, "Jack, we gotta go, now!" I'm pumping gas, and the I here is Jack, not me, because it's written in the first person. I'm not a character in the series yet. Yeah, watch out, Stephen King. Maybe I'll do the same thing. No, I want to be a character in the series. Chapter 1. Jack, we gotta go now! I'm pumping gas into my boom cart. June's telling me there's no time, and I know there's no time. I know that the Mollusk, an enormous centipede monster, carrying the Millennium Super Mall on its back, is barreling towards us. Man, I wish I could go back to 3 minutes ago. 3 minutes ago, things were good. Me and my best friends, Quint, June, and Dirk, were good. We were mid-road trip and celebrating a hard-won victory at Aqua City Water Park. We had defeated the monster Blargus, survived Thrall's skeleton army, and escaped with Drooler. Drooler, the odd-looking little creature that secretes the strange liquid known as Ultra Slime, and that strange liquid is maybe the key to defeating Thrall once and for all. Yep, 3 minutes ago was a Kodak moment. But then came the rumbling, like a thunderstorm, giving birth to an earthquake. The world started shaking. My insides started quivering because we saw it. The Mollusk! June gasped. It's back! Which means we gotta get back to driving, Dirk said, and fast. So, right now, my friends are in their boom carts, engines running, but I'm still pumping gas. Actually, wait, no. I only look like I'm pumping gas. I'm actually just standing at the pump, in a half-trance, staring at my hand. Jack's sort of like this. Not my normal hand, the cosmic hand, but Jack's hand is cool and cosmic, not like a regular old boring hand. I mean, hands aren't boring. They write the books, but still. Not my normal hand. The cosmic hand is the sucker-covered monster tentacle glove that is forever wrapped around my wrist and hand. Without it, I can't wield my baseball bat, the Louisville Slicer. Right there. Probably gonna fall over now and scare me. And it's the Louisville Slicer that contains the power to command and control zombies. I'm staring at the cosmic hand now because I'm realizing it has changed. It looks more, I don't know, substantial, and it feels different. And I think I know what caused this change. Back at Aqua City, I did something huge. I controlled a zombie without the Louisville Slicer. For the first time ever, I controlled a zombie only with my mind. What was I thinking? Where did the idea to even attempt to control zombies with my mind come from? The Louisville Slicer contains the power to control zombies. Yes, but it works in a very specific way. I say the stuff I want the zombies to do, and then I swing the bat, and the zombies do the stuff.
Like?
Do this! And he swings it, but cooler. I hope cooler. But it's not like a shut my eyes and think real hard with my mind and then talk to zombies with my mind. Telepathy type mind thing. That it even occurred to me to try to use my mind is just like weird. You'd be like sitting on the couch playing Mario or something, pounding the controller, and then thinking, hey, you know what? Forget the controller. I'll just control Mario with my mind. But that's what I did. And it worked. I controlled a zombie with my mind. That's a lot of instances of the word mind in one page. I'm going to say that's intentional. And I have to tell my friends. Guys, I didn't tell you. Back at the water park, I used like brain powers to... Dude, Dirk shouts. Do you see that mollusk? We have to go. Now. But this is... Screech. June peels out, leaving burnt rubber in her wake. She cuts the wheel, stomping the pedals, speeding towards me. Get in your cart and drive, June barks. Okay, fine, I mutter. Message received. You only had to say it once. Now, Jack, June orders, and this time I listen. The pump clangs to the ground as I jump behind the wheel of my boom cart. I wave the Louisville slicer and shout a command to my zombies. Alfred, Lefty, Glorm, hop on! My zombie trio responds, hopping on the bumper and grabbing the boom cart's rear cage. I stomp the gas and the tires scream. I'm speeding away from the station, following June, Quint, and Dirk out onto the interstate as ka-crunch. God, I'm not good at those sound effects. The sound of the mollusk ramming into the gas station is like a sonic boom of annihilation, a rocket hurling our boom carts ahead. That thing is going to grind our bones into little tiny bone bits, like bird bones. Guys, you got to listen to me. I controlled Alfred only by thinking about it. No slicer, and I think, not now, Jack. Dirk is not having it. I'm trying to tell you something, guys, I shout. Something big. Not bigger than that, Dirk barks, hooking a thumb at the mollusk. Oh, look, he hooked. I hooked a thumb, and so did the character. So when I was writing it, I was probably doing that. Debatable, I shout. Bigger in size. Well, duh, of course, the mollusk is bigger. But bigger in terms of, like, impact on us? I'm not sure. This could be... Jack, there is quite literally nothing that will have a bigger impact on us than that thing when it impacts on us, Quint shouts. Heads up, June cries, as the wide avenue narrows, shooting us out onto a small town main street. Dirk and June blast ahead, while Quint and I keep pace side by side. We speed down post-apocalyptic streets, engines churning, keeping us just ahead of the charging mollusk. Quint, I shout. We need to talk about what I did back at the water park. It was incredible, Quint exclaims. I know, thank you. I mean, I controlled Alfred just by thinking about it. Dude, am I Jean Grey? No, friend, not that. Look, Quint says, lifting one hand from the wheel and pointing at Dirk directly ahead of us. Dirk's sword is... Sword? Sword? I never said it like that before. Sword. It sounds fancy. Sword? I'm going to say sword. Dirk's sword is... No, I'm not. Dirk's sword is slung over his back and clinging to the sword... Dirk's sword is slung over his back and clinging to the sword's hilt is Drooler. Tiny droplets of ultra slime fly off the monster. It's like little bits flying off him. Jack says, yeah, Dirk has a cool new sword. We're all jealous, whatever. I'm trying to tell you that I might be a mind reader, or... Wait, no, the opposite. I'm a reverse mind reader. I'm a mind teller. Unbelievable, Quint says. Believe it, buddy, because slime should be pouring off Drooler in buckets, but it's not. Quint interrupts. Forget Drooler, I exclaim. How are you not interested in the world-altering stuff that... Oh, I am interested, Jack. I am incredibly interested in the world-altering stuff that Drooler is doing. Jack, can't get a sentence out here, which is the whole joke of the scene. Just then, Dirk swerves to avoid a toppling streetlight. His cart bangs into mine, and then he's speeding along beside us. Okay, my pages are back in order, and everything is A-okay again. Dirk, Quint exclaims, I've had the most incredible realization. Yeah, me too, Dirk says. I realized you two talk way too much during speeding getaways. Focus on staying alive and keep your mouths closed, Quint says. It's a closed circuit. Combined, that's what Drooler and your sword form. That's why he hugs the hilt of your blade like that. Look, the ultra slime seeps from Drooler, trickles down the sword, then flows back up into Drooler for reabsorption, like electricity or evaporation. which becomes the Drooler and Sword Ultra Slime cycle. And you can see that in illustration. Otherwise, it's really confusing. Dirk glances back at Drooler, over to Quint, and then back at Drooler. Then, why does this matter right now? Dirk shouts. Because scientifically... Okay, I'm gonna have to separate you three if you don't stop talking, June shouts, throwing us a hard look over her shoulder. Now listen, you see that highway on ramp up ahead? If we can get to that, we might escape the mollusk, and we might not die today. I squint. June's right. The looping ramp will carry us out of the mollusk's path, and that means we'll survive. That also means I'll be able to finish one complete thought without being interrupted by a lesson on the science of Ultra Slime. I smile. One day, this will all be a distant memory, a blip on the radar, a fun story we'll tell our robot grandkids. And then, in an instant, it all falls apart. Exhaust erupts ahead of me. June's boom cart, belching smoke. Then Quint and Dirk's boom carts begin shuddering and shaking. Then my own engine rattles. I glance down at the dash. Gas tank is empty. Well, this is unfortunate timing, Quint says. The street sways and buckles. Pavement splits. Stores crumble. Street lamps fall. I feel the sharp sting of concrete pelting me like a rubble rain shower. The mollusk's shadow falls over us. In moments, we'll be guzzled up by this monstrous freight train. Remember when I said there wouldn't be enough gas to get us to the next town, let alone the Statue of Liberty? Dirk says. This is what I meant. Ooh, tumbleweed, Quint says, pointing. That can't be good, June says. You can't see it. In the illustration, you can see it. The joke is that the tumbleweed is going faster than they are, and tumbleweeds are very slow, which means that they are in a very bad situation. Okay, seatbelts tight, Quint shouts. Keep arms, hands, and drawers inside the vehicle at all times, June says. And try to remain alive, I think. Come here, little dude, Dirk says, reaching around to cradle Drooler. Alfred, Lefty, Glurm, hang on, I shout. This is gonna be... My words are drowned out as the sound of the monster's massive legs ripping apart the earth becomes a deafening roar. My hands grip the wheel tight, and I see it again, the cosmic hand, changed. And then all I see is darkness as the mollusk rolls over us like an avalanche. It's the end of chapter 1. And I'll do a tiny bit of chapter 2 because that's like when it really gets like blow or like kapow, or I don't know. Chapter 2 was fun. Chapter 2. It feels like the entire world explodes. Any moment, I expect my body will break. First, there will be probably the impaling, followed by the crushing, and then finally some liquefying. But that doesn't happen. I'm neither impaled, crushed, nor liquefied. Because we're not being run over, not exactly. Instead, we're being vacuumed up into the darkness of the mollusk's underside. I quickly lose track of my friends. It's impossible to see anything but the millions of needle-like hairs that cover the mollusk's massive pincher legs. I try to call out, but the instant I open my mouth, the air is ripped from my lungs. It's like I'm inside a tornado. I faintly hear Alfred groaning. I squint back just as he's yanked from the boom cart and pulled into the swirling storm created by the rapid movement of the mollusk's legs. Glurm and Lefty are snatched next, disappearing amidst the pounding pinchers, and then snap! My seatbelt pops, and I'm hurled from the boom cart. I'm suddenly like an astronaut alone in space, only I don't have one of those neato cords tethering me to the ship. There is zero tethering happening here. A tiny flicker of light high above me catches my eye. I realize I'm being hurled toward it with the mollusk's every pulsating movement. This is probably not going to be great, I think, as I'm propelled toward a pulsing hole that looks to be roughly the width of a Pringles can. The vacuum suction increases until... Ba-boom! I'm shot through the hole, rocketed out of the world of mollusk legs and pinchers, and rocketed into something that looks and feels like lime jello. My eyes are open, but I don't feel the goo on them. It doesn't sting the way like a motel swimming pool does. I continue upward through the jello, blasting past... the illustration shows what he's blasting past, but stuff. Detritus. I managed to twist in the green goo, avoiding a crunched-up, mangled gas pump probably devoured moments earlier by the mollusk, an unleaded afternoon snack. And then finally, one last violent push and sploosh! Well, I think I did pretty good with that sound effect. Sploosh! My head and shoulders burst to the surface. After a quick gasp for air, I got too confident. After a quick gasp for air, June, Quint, Dirk, I shout, where are you guys? The answer comes in the form of 3 sudden splashes. One by one, my friends erupt through the surface, gasping, coughing, spitting. Quint says, well, that was a strange trip through a strange parfait. I was thinking the same thing, but not parfait. I was thinking like the ice cream one with the chocolate crunchies. Carvel ice cream cake, June says. The greatest of all cakes. Enough of the cakes. I've got a problem. That's Dirk. Dirk, I start. I'm suddenly feeling sick, and it has nothing to do with the gallon of goo I swallowed. Where's Drooler? Dirk's chin trembles as he looks at me. I don't know. We got separated back there. And that's when I realized Drooler isn't the only missing member of our little adventure crew. My zombie squad isn't here either. But I see the aching, awful look on Dirk's face, and I decide not to say anything. Alfred, Lefty, and Glurm are, undead. They could get pulled through a dozen mollusks and be okay. They'll turn up. But Drooler, I'm not so sure. I'm worried Dirk is going to go into full-on meltdown mode until he says, I will personally punch every dumb pincher on this thing until I get Drooler back. And that sounds more like the Dirk we know and love. Drooler must be somewhere, June says. Quint nods. We'll find him. I wipe more goo from my eyes and see we're in a dimly lit, cavernous chamber. Junk turns around us like we're in a garbage jacuzzi. A mailbox bobs past us, followed by battered stop signs and deflated pool floaties. I think we were sucked up into the mollusk's gastrointestinal tract, Quint explains as he paddles toward me, or some variation thereof. Lovely, June says, flicking a fleshy gunkwad off her shoulder. Which means this here is the uprooted underside of the Millennium Supermall, Quint says, pointing at the cracked concrete and jagged pipes that cover the ceiling. The mollusk's I gotta use words I can read better. The mollusk's exoskeleton must have fused with yark. Oh, that sound effect is no good. From me. Yark. Oh, it's like an elephant sound. A monster elephant. A monstrous bellow suddenly echoes through the chamber. Watch out! June cries. She reels in the goo as a long, thick hose suddenly bursts out of the darkness. Whoa! Hose thing! I cry, and then sploosh! The hose stabs into the pool. Two more follow. My friends and I are huddled together, nervously bobbing as the hoses poke around in the goo. Soon, each hose finds a piece of scrap, wraps around it, and then pulls it from the pool. Those aren't hoses, June says. Our eyes have begun to adjust to the darkness, and it's clear that these are actually the trunks of some strange new creature. And now, those massive trunks are coming back, wrapping around us, hauling us away. Dun, dun, dun. What will happen next? Gotta read the book to find out. Or you can ask somebody who read the book, but I don't know, it's not as fun as reading the book. I don't think. Unless your friend is a really good storyteller and they can tell it better than I can, then maybe yes. But then you'll get illustrations from Doug, so no, not as fun. So that's a little bit of Doomsday Race, book 7 in the series, and I'm in the middle of book 8, and also in the middle of another little surprise thingy, Last Kid's book story thingy, and also in the middle of another little, well, I'm not done, and that's enough. On sale September 14th, which is soon, and you can pre-order it now. And if you do pre-order it, you can upload your receipt to a little website thingy, which is really easy to do. And then there's probably a link somewhere. I'm sure there's a link wherever this is being posted. There's probably a link to pre-order it. And if you do that, then I'll be signing book plates for everybody who buys a copy of the book, who pre-orders a copy of the book, autographed. I got my little pen here that I use, and you also get this very cool pin. It's like a vote for Jack pin, because some of what happens in Doomsday Race is like a sort of like the monster version of a school election. Only the entire fate of our dimension might hinge on that election, and Jack's running against a bad guy. So, yeah, that's it. Pre-order the book if you want. Hope you do. Okay,